A lot of times we find ourselves in a relationship with another narcissist, even though we have ended the relationship with the narcissist. We took a few months or even a few years to heal and to understand what has happened, yet another relationship comes around, and here we are, entangled with another narcissist. So what happened? We learned about them. We know who they are. We know what's gaslighting. We know what's hoovering. We know what cycles of abuse are. We learned everything about the narcissist, how to spot them, how to understand their manipulation techniques. Yet, here we are, entangled with another one, years later. This was the first time when I realized that I have a huge blind spot. There is something missing. So I ended my last relationship with a narcissist years ago. That triggered my spiritual awakening. I went on an awakening journey for quite a few years. I was working on myself. I was in therapy. I was meditating hours a day. I was doing all of the work, parts work, working on bringing up my self-worth, working with many coaches and reading a lot of books, educating myself on the internet, doing all of the things that you could possibly do. And yet, here I was, years later, in another relationship with a narcissist. This one was worse than anyone I have ever had in my life. He was a malignant narcissist, and actually I was lucky to have ended that relationship very early on, as soon as I realized what was happening, because this time around I knew what was going on. I knew who he was very early on, and it didn't take me a long time. However, it did happen, and that really made me take a pause and ask myself, what is it that I'm missing? I'm doing all of the work. I know I value myself. I know I'm worthy. I know my self-worth. I know I have put in a lot of work into this. Yet there's something I'm missing, big time. So if your narcissist is insulting you, it's calling you names, putting you down, making you feel worthless, physically, emotionally, mentally abusing you, then it really is time to ask yourself, what is it within you that you are allowing this to be happening continuously? Okay? It's not about the narcissist anymore. You have educated yourself all over the internet. You read many books. You have likely gone to therapy. You have learned about who the narcissists are, what do they do, how to spot the manipulation techniques, how to understand when love bombing, what love bombing is, when it's happening, all of that. Now, that doesn't prevent you from meeting another narcissist and getting again into the relationship with them, because even though you learned all of these things, you are still attracted to them. because you haven't looked deeply within yourself to realize or to understand what is the source of this. Okay? So you cognitively and merely understanding who narcissists are and what do they do and how to spot them and all of that is not enough. You learning about the narcissist is not enough. It's actually not even close to enough. You need to learn about you. That's the key. That is truly the key to all of this. If the narcissist keeps on insulting you, you don't have boundaries. Because a hardcore boundary would be that if someone insults me, I walk. But you haven't walked yet. You're still in a relationship with them, right? So what that means is basically you are admitting to yourself and to him or her and to the rest of the world that that's okay. It's okay for someone to abuse you. It's okay for someone to insult you. You accept all of that. What does that tell you about yourself? It tells you that you believe that you deserve it. You believe that you're unworthy of anything better for yourself. You believe that you're unworthy of love. Your self-worth is very, very, very low. And how is this? Because for me, at this point, I was mad at myself, really, because I knew my value, or I thought I knew my value. And not only that, I have put a lot of effort and a lot of time and money and energy into building myself up. Not only spiritually, but also mentally and socially and in every possible way. I was an executive at the company. I was getting my master's at an Ivy League school. I had amazing friends around me. I have an amazing people who love me. And yet, I was with the person who was continuously putting me down, who was emotionally, mentally abusing me, and I was lucky enough to have gotten out of that last relationship and that I wasn't physically abused as well. But the key to all of this is learning about yourself. It's uncovering the hidden programs in your subconscious that are basically running your life. Because even though consciously you know you're worthy, you know your value, subconsciously you don't believe it. And subconscious will 100% of the time overrun your conscious mind at all times. Okay? So if you just really, really tune into yourself and ask yourself a question, why don't I have boundaries? Because you love him or her? But what does that tell you? You don't love yourself enough to put a stop to this? You don't love yourself enough to say no? You don't love yourself enough to not listen to insults anymore? Someone putting you down, someone calling you names, someone hitting you? What does that tell you about you? Where in your childhood have you abandoned yourself? Where in your childhood have you felt abandoned by your parent? and you stop loving yourself, and you stop thinking that you're worthy of love. Where did that happen, or when? You have to pinpoint that wound that is running your life. And it's not easy work, I can tell you right now. But what's easier? You tell me. Is it easier to do the work on yourself? That is hard, I'm not gonna lie. Or is it easier to keep recycling relationships with narcissists where you're continuously being put down, emotionally, physically abused for the rest of your life? You tell me what's easier, okay? Because I think you know the answer. So you may have the knowledge and the cognitive understanding of all that is happening in your life, but like I said, subconsciously, you don't believe that you're worthy of love. You don't believe that you deserve the love that you want. And you don't believe that you have love for yourself. You don't love yourself, okay? You are asking and seeking continuously the love, the approval, the validation from external source, from someone else to give it to you. You don't love yourself. That's the core key thing here. So we're going to change that right now, actually, today. How? We're going to change that by thinking about what is it that you love, okay? Pick one thing. Could be your hobby, could be whatever interests you. You like to go to a museum, you like sports, you like hiking, you like wine tasting, whatever it is. Do something new, meet new people, go into a place where you have never been before, or do something that you haven't done in years that you love to do. And do it today for yourself alone, okay? And I want you to put in a comment section the thing that you picked and how you felt about it afterwards. Because this is the first step. This is truly the first step in building yourself back up and loving yourself. Piece by piece, we're going to do this together. Okay? Much love to you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.